Today is August 27th, which means it's almost the end of the month, which means there's only 4 months left until the year 2022. Wait, what? The price action for Bitcoin over the past 24 hours has been pretty significant. We bounced off of two key moving averages. The 21-day EMA and the 200-day SMA are currently in sync with one another, pretty much at the same area, and we bounced off of both the 200-day SMA and the 21-day EMA. So we're going to be discussing the significance of this. Bitcoin dominance also seems to be unable to get a bounce off this level, which means we may see more action for the altcoins. All of this and more in today's video. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing Bitcoin, the charts, the on-chain metrics. We're also going to be taking a look at the S&P 500, Bitcoin dominance, and a bunch of other stuff. Before we get started, hit that like button. Okay, now looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart, we have three key moving averages that I'm keeping track of right now, and that is the blue 21-day EMA, the yellow 50-day EMA, and the green 200-day SMA, all of them playing some very significant roles in the past few months. Our main support moving average was the 50-day EMA. Once we broke down, we entered the bearish trend. We've reclaimed this yellow 50-day EMA now, and in recent times, we've gone a little bit more vertical, which means the blue 21-day EMA has been our support. In the beginning of August, we bounced off the 21-day EMA. We bounced off of it again here, August 18th, and just today, we've bounced off of it once again. But what's significant about today's price action is that the longer-term 200-day moving average, for a while, Bitcoin was chopping above and below, clearly interested in the 200-day moving average, but the market was a little bit uncertain. Now we've punched up above 50, come back, and actually bounced off the 200-day. And that is significant for the bulls. If they can maintain it, if they can hold it, that is very bullish. Holding it means we may see higher highs and move into the $50,000 range. If we do end up falling lower, breaking down, I'm looking for a move down towards the $42,000 level, and I will be a buyer along that price, right? That's where I'm looking to accumulate if we do move down. That is my short-term accumulation target. Long-term, you guys know I'm very bullish on this market. But the fact that we're holding the 200-day right now means that, as long as we're above it, it's more likely that we do get a continued move to the upside. If you take your fibs from the 65K peak all the way down to the 28.8K low, our recent resistance came in right along that 618, just below 51,000. The next fib target is the 786 at 57,100. So if we do continue up, if we hold that 21-day EMA, if we're, the short-term moving average, if we break above the resistance, then I'm looking for a move up above 55,000, at least 53,000 to as high as 57,100. So that's the upside, guys. That's short-term upside. And once again, if we do break below the 200-day, I'm looking for 42,000 about, and I'm going to be looking to be a buyer. Long-term, I do expect that no matter what plays out, we are going to remain bullish, and we're going to enter new all-time highs for Bitcoin before the end of this year, likely within the next couple months, to be honest. And one factor about this bull market that shows that maybe Bitcoin does actually have a shot and moving towards the $100,000 level by the end of the year is the supply shock ratios. We're seeing consistent upticks, higher highs, higher lows in the illiquid supply shock ratio. We're actually nearing new highs for the illiquid supply shock ratio for this run, which means that for the past many, many years, there's never been less Bitcoin on the market to be bought, right? The supply is really low. Demand is getting higher, supply is getting lower. Obviously, that equation means higher prices. The illiquid supply shock ratio is the blue line on this screen, and this is the chart from May 24th to just a couple days ago. Now, if I move myself over to this corner, you can see the pink or purple line is the exchange supply shock ratio, right? And we've also seen an uptick in the exchange supply shock ratio. So all across the board, guys, it's showing that there's less Bitcoin available, and that is a trend. It's trending, right? These supply shock ratios are trending up. So as of right now, I don't see why this trend wouldn't continue, right? Again, as long as we're holding the 200-day moving average and the short-term 21-day EMA, then the supply shock ratios will continue to get an uptick. If we end up seeing moves down, then of course you may see supply re-enter the market once again. But I don't think we're going to go much lower than 42. I think there's a lot of people waiting for 42. I think there are a ton of speculators out there waiting for a retest of resistance as new support to get entries. So if we do ever get that low, it probably won't last very long. And really quick, just to mention, Ethereum is looking pretty strong right now. Ethereum is only about a 35% gain from the all-time high. Bitcoin is only about a almost the same 35% gain from the all-time high. Although, looking at the market structure and looking at this setup here, it seems like there's a lot more resistance for Bitcoin to push through. We have a really long multi-month top, looking left. There's a lot of action to get through before we get into the next all-time high. But for Ethereum, it's a little bit different. Taking a look at Ethereum's chart here, I mean, we only have, 1, 2, 3, 4.5 weeks looking left, guys. Only 4.5 weeks looking left. Not much resistance to get through compared to Bitcoin's multi-month top. So Ethereum will probably hit new all-time highs before Bitcoin does. Right, and this is what might send Bitcoin dominance into the next major leg down, or a continued leg down. And ultimately, guys, I'm looking for all-time lows for Bitcoin dominance, right? This is the 2017, 2018 low. If Bitcoin is going to break out into new all-time highs, if Bitcoin is going to head towards 100K, it's more than likely that we see all-time lows for Bitcoin dominance. Ethereum going to continue to take up huge market share. And the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that the S&P 500 is now hitting another all-time high here on the daily chart. Right now, we're hugging basically the heartline of this channel, depending on how you map it out. But one thing to observe, the reason why I'm bringing this up is if you're looking back in time here, the 2017 bull run for Bitcoin took place alongside a very similar environment, guys. Very similar environment, a nice upward sloping channel. We were hugging that heart line, and the final blow off top in the crypto market took place, from October, right, moving all the way into December, January for both Bitcoin and the stock market, right? Taking a look at that 2017 run, both had those blow off tops at a similar range. Now, keep in mind, here's the 2017 chart for Bitcoin on the weekly. After we broke that $1,200 all-time high for Bitcoin, right? We broke the all-time high. We entered our first parabolic advance, completed that parabolic advance down here at the $1,800, $2,000 level, right? And that took place in July. From that July low, it was only 150 days until the peak came in. And remember, it was just after we broke the all-time high. And measuring from the low of this cycle, measuring from the $198 low point to the $19,666 high point, it was about 9,900% gains. But if you measure to that first parabolic advance, that first low point, it was only 864%. So majority of all the gains took place in the last 150 days of the market cycle. Think about that. The last 150 days was the majority of the gain. Now take a look at this. Here's the $19,666 top here on the Bitstamp chart, right? And just like that first parabolic advance here, Bitcoin hit 65. We complete the parabolic advance. We hit that 30,000 low point. And now if we go from that low, right, we're talking about 150 days. Now, it's likely that it's going to be different. Things are always different, right? So 150 days from $2,000 to $20,000, right? 150 days puts us at, about mid or end of December, right? Mid or end of December, if we were going to be, at least matching that type of action. Now, I don't think we're going to be seeing the same percentage gains, right? There's most likely diminishing returns here. But let's just say we have an average of $180,000 peak, right? That, let's say the ultimate peak for Bitcoin is 180,000. I mean, that's still, that is still tremendous gains within a very short period of time. And it sounds crazy to people, right? But it sounded crazy back here if you said Bitcoin was going to go from 20,000 up to 65 within 5 months, 20K to 65, people would have called you crazy. And if I say, it's possible that we may go from 30K to 100 or 200K in the next 150 to 250 days, people will say you're crazy. But guys, this is nothing out of the ordinary for a crypto bull market. It's not out of the ordinary at all. It's quite possible that this is what's going to be taking place here, considering the supply shock factor of this current market cycle. And remember, in 2017, the stock market looked like this. All right, now look at what we're doing now with the S&P, right? Take a look. Very similar type of stuff going on. And what I do think is likely, to happen is that the S&P will enter, some sort of final blow-off phase where we exit this price channel to the upside, and that's what the final euphoria phase before the bear market, which could start, in 2022 or something along those lines, beginning of 2022. And that would be pretty much in sync with what we're discussing here for the potential for Bitcoin before we enter a true bear market. Again, we have 3 years until the next halving, guys. 3 years. A lot can happen in 3 years. It's unlikely that Bitcoin's going to just go dump for 3 years before the next halving. It's unlikely that Bitcoin's just going to go sideways into the next halving. It's more likely that we see another final pump before a correction into a true bear market, and then we wait until the next halving, guys. And yes, in the next bear market, so Bitcoin could go, upwards of 200,000 roughly. Again, like I said in my last video, my next upside target is 124,000 before a pullback, and then a push up towards potentially 200,000 or so. The bear market low could be where we are now, 50,000, stuff like that, right? Just giving you some rough ideas, some speculative ideas, of course. But I hope all of that makes sense. I hope this video was informative, entertaining. If you liked it, smash up that like button. Subscribe to this channel, guys, if you like this kind of content. And if you want to support this channel, the ultimate thing you can do to support this channel is to join the Patreon. The links are below. You can get access to my public portfolio, see what I'm holding, see what altcoins I'm getting into, low cap picks, mid cap picks, high cap picks. And also the thing that people like most is the VIP chat. You can get access to my exclusive VIP chat where I'm hanging out for most of the day. You get direct access to me. You can message me whenever you want. If that sounds interesting to you, then definitely join the Patreon, click that link below, and I'll see you all in the next video.